Gambia Maritime conducts a coastal line cleansing exercise to combat sea pollution. Electricity and natural gas prices increased in Tunisia amid global economic crisis. And online financial transactions are gaining momentum in the Middle East and North Africa. Well, this and more coming ahead on The World Today. Hello, this is Eyeafrica TV and you are watching the World Today News Bulletin. Many thanks for joining us. I am Amadou Kante and now the news in detail. Now, the Gambia Maritime Administration on Saturday conducted a massive quarterly coastline clean-up exercise from Banjul to Katong. The exercise targeted to combat sea pollution and to encourage workers at sea and its surroundings to take environmental protection seriously. Moses Imendi has the details in this report.
The Gambia Maritime Administration teamed up with various partners and committees from communities situated along the coastline to conduct the massive quarterly coastline cleanup. They work in groups to gather waste material dumped by beachgoers. These garbage are to be later collected and transported to dump sites by area councils' dumping trucks. Ibrahim Silla, Minister of Works, speaks on the importance of the exercise.
This is critical, this is important to achieve an important component of government's desire to see that our marine and coastlines are protected from unwanted destruction, but also being used for dumping dirt and also rubbish, into the sea. The users on the beach here, the beach goers, and also the community have been fully sensitized. In addition to the efforts that we are doing right now to cleanse the beach, and we believe that from now on we will see some improvement in terms of the way the situation, is on the beach in terms of uncollected rubbish.
He said the ministry will engage Brikama Area Council to provide waste collection trucks that will be regularly collecting waste material from the beach, adding that waste should not be left uncollected. There are existing policies that seek to prevent environmental pollution, but lack of support and cooperation from the very communities where they are to be implemented is a challenge. Minister Silla also stated that as much as it is good to have policies that protect the environment in place, the community also ought to take ownership and responsibility. Wandifa Sedi, Gambian Maritime Administrative Head of Marine Environment and Governance, dwells on the essence of the exercise.
So it's important that we keep our coast environmentally sound and healthy for everybody. So this is the reason for us to come on board and to take charge of a mandate that we have to do as far as protection of the marine environment is concerned.
He explained that the Maritime Administration will continue to carry out coastline cleanup exercise in the second month of every quarter. Proper management of waste is important as it has serious health implications, he added. The quarterly coastline cleanup is captured in the Gambia Maritime Administration Strategic Plan of 2022 to 2026. Lamin Jabang is the Alcalo of Sanyam village and he shares his thought on the initiative.
It's a pleasure to see this initiative happening. It is very important because this is a concern of the country to make the beach sources very clean. Seafood, such as fish, can be healthy. If the food is contaminated, people will definitely fall sick from it. The cleanliness of the people gives good environment to the people who comes to the beach.
Plastic chemicals can be released into the water, leading to fish contamination. Through such process, plastic chemicals can enter the food chain because the fish ends in the human's plate. Modu S. Jallo is the founder of Tangi Got Talent and a member of Tangi Youth Association.
Keep our environment healthy. That is one of the most important things. Because, like for instance, when we are using papers and organic and inorganic waste, and we just throw the inorganic inside the river, so how will it be if the bigger fish eat it? Then it will be coming back to us.
He says that his organization holds talk shows to discuss the consequences of sea pollution. To him, the rise in the number of volunteers during cleaning exercises signifies that natives have started taking environmental protection seriously, and that's progress. Pa Usman Sanyang, spokesperson for Sanyang Youth for Environmental Protection and Development, said plastic dumping at the beach is a threat to marine life. Therefore, partaking in this exercise is part of their utmost effort to make the beach plastic-free, because preserving the environment is of utmost importance to them. When tons of garbage are dumped into the ocean and its surroundings, they become elements of pollution. Plastics are inorganic materials that take thousands of years to decay. As a result, fish and wildlife becomes intoxicated. Consequently, toxins from the plastic enter the food chain, threatening human health. The coastline cleanup exercise was conducted in partnership with the National Environmental Agency, Gambia Ocean Heroes, Environmental Alliance, Banjul City Council, Brikama Area Council, and many more. Moses Mendy, Eyeafrica News.
Now, the construction of an Amazon Africa headquarters in South Africa is at standstill following a legal challenge by indigenous groups for the suspension of works. Now, the indigenous people say they would not relent in the quest to pursue justice while expressing their dismay at the start of the construction on their land. However, the judge's ruling did not go down well with the Amazon's defense team, who vowed to challenge the decision at the Supreme Court. Let's have more details of that in this report.
A chant, a prayer, and a blessing to pay their respects to Mother Nature and their ancestors. In March this year, these indigenous people were granted an interim interdict by the Western Cape High Court to stop construction at the site of Amazon's proposed African headquarters until all indigenous First Nations groups had been properly consulted.
Although the construction has been stopped, the amount of devastation on the floodplain and the fact that the old Lisbeth Channel has been destroyed is something that is quite deeply painful. In our opinion, these are heritage crimes, and so we will continue in our pursuit in the High Court to have this entire building undone.
We are connected to this earth, to this soil, to this river, by the dust of our ancestors and our umbilical cords. For thousands of years, our people have been living here. This water contains our memory of our people. So we are deeply connected to this very special piece of land here. It's this place where we come and do our sacred rituals.
The River Club developers said they were deeply disappointed with what they called the judge's job-killing ruling, and earlier said that any further delays could render the $300 million project unviable.
The project will founder almost certainly on an irreparable and irreversible basis. That will be the end of the development, and that surely can't be to the benefit of the parties who manifestly do stand to benefit, whether it's direct employment, indirect employment, inclusionary housing, the recognition and celebration of the First Nations, and the ecological and additional benefits, including infrastructure for the city.
Lisbeth Leisure Properties Trust said it was reviewing the judge's decision not to grant leave to appeal her earlier ruling to stop construction on this highly contested piece of land. They've indicated that they would now be taking their legal battle to South Africa's Supreme Court of Appeal. However, the judge stated that the development's economic and infrastructural benefits could never override the fundamental rights of all groups of the First Nations people.
Back in the Gambia, Depot Supervisor and Acting Operation Manager have told the High Court in Banjul that A total of 2,000 metric tons of gas oil and 10,000 metric tons of gas oil were removed during petroleum tank cleaning. Now, he further informed the court that the second accused person was appointed in 2019 as operations manager. He said he was assigned by the second accused person to conduct a deep-ins of all the storage tanks and verify all the physical stocks in the tanks in order to compare the book stock and the physical stock. But upon doing that, he discovered that there was a huge difference between the book stock and the physical stock. Mafuji Sise tells us more of that in this report.
The acting operation manager told the court that he discovered that the gas oil was more and was around 8 to 9,000 metric tons, whilst gasoline was about 5,000 metric tons. The prosecution witness said the total storage capacity for gas oil is 20,000 metric tons, whilst the total storage capacity for petrol is 10,000 metric tons, and the total storage capacity for jet fuel 5,000 metric tons. The total storage capacity for heavy fuel is 15,000 metric tons. The total storage for liquidated petrol gas is 1,000 metric tons. When Defense Counsel Menon asked him why it was necessary to do the daily dip, the witness said it was necessary to know the available space in the tank, and that helped them to know the quantity they can receive from the vessel. He said it was also correct that the larger available space in the tanks, the more one can receive the products from the vessels, and the witness responded in positive, saying that is by considering the safety loading area. He was further asked if he can recall the day he received 14,000 metric tons of petrol and how that was done at Gambia Petroleum, and how GP was able to receive 10,000 metric tons. He said that is done when the vessel is discharged and refill the empty spaces in the tank. Said Gambia Petroleum allow oil marketing companies to uplift products even when on a negative balance. The witness informed the court that sometimes even when Gambia Petroleum is not discharging but expecting a vessel, they still create space for the vessel they expecting, saying this is where the analysis come by anticipating how many products Gambia Petroleum is receiving. The depot supervisor told the court that sometimes between 1st January to 31st of October, Gambia Petroleum dipped so 0.00 in terms of products, and during that time they were expecting a vessel called MT High Discovery. He said the vessel was cancelled at the last minute, but he does not know the reason for the cancellation. He agreed it to be correct that if not for the cancellation of the vessel that Gambia Petroleum was expecting, they would not have had 0.00 by the 1st of November 2021. PW2 said the whole process starts from the control room, where loading tickets are prepared. When the OMCs submit their delivery notes to the control room, the control room will prepare the loading tickets. Then the tickets will be sent to the second accused person's office for authorization. The acting operation manager explained that the tickets will then pass to the security gate number 3 for booking and also put their signatures on it, while the safety officers will be inspecting the trucks before their entrance. Then the loading master and the depot supervisor will request for the trucks to enter, and the trucks will be properly arranged at their various loading bases. The driver of the truck will now hand over the tickets to the loader. The loader will go through the tickets to inspect and make sure that the assigned quantity corresponds with the capacity that particular truck. The loading master also confirmed the emptiness of the trucks before loading them. He further noted that the out-bonding cables will be connected to the bonding arm of the trucks, which will be lowered to the compartment of the truck. The bonding arm has to make base contact, and then the quantity stipulated on the ticket will be inset in the meter. The driver will open the fuel valve and hold it. The loader will know the meter on and start delivering the product to the truck. He said after the completion of the delivery, the loader will now reset the meter, and the quantity delivered will be recorded in the control room and printed. The driver will move the truck to another place if he is supposed to load another product. So the same procedure applies to all the trucks. The depot supervisor explained that the procedure when the trucks are leaving the Gambia Petroleum depot is they will now sign the loading ticket and send it to the control room, where the driver will take the time to drive the truck to the sealing area and seal the truck. The control room will prepare the final loading ticket, and the sealing numbers will be indicated indicated on the final loading ticket. Toure said the ticket will now be sent to reception, where they call the driver to come and sign and accept the final loading ticket, which include the quantity. The ticket will now be sent to the second accused person's office for signatures, and then the first accused person's office also for signatures. Adding that the ticket will now be resent to this reception for copies of the ticket, in which the GRA get their copy from the reception. The driver also will get his copy, and the original copy will file in the control room. Then the driver will now leave the depot. He affirmed that based on these, custom copies are computed on every truck that leave Gambia Petroleum, and custom provide escort for the trucks to the border, adding that these are the procedures Gambia Petroleum always follow between 1st January to 31st October, and the same procedures was happening at GPE before the first and second accused person assumed office. He informed the court that it's not only the second accused that authorized the tickets, but that GP have other authorized signatories like the product control assistant, junior operations assistants, and first and second accused person. Toure said the junior officers normally sign document on behalf of the first and second accused persons at the control room. This means that either the ticket is authorized on their behalf or the final ticket will also be signed on their behalf, and the control room has a record of all the tickets they issued between 1st January to 31st October 2021. For Eyeafrica News, I am Mafuji Cisse.
Now, in other news, the prices of electricity and natural gas have increased in Tunisia thanks to the impact of the global economic crisis. The new energy tariff will affect will not affect all, according to the country's electricity and gas company, but citizens are urged to rationalize electricity and gas usage. Experts say the newly introduced measures will affect business activities in the North African nation. Here's more details of that in this report.
Tunisia's state-owned power provider has announced a new price increase for natural gas and electricity, ranging between 12.2% and 16% for residential customers and 15% for industrial ones. It's the latest round of energy price increases that came into effect at the beginning of the month, and which authorities say is necessary in order to cope with the price hikes on the international market.
We were forced to raise tariffs due to the repercussions of the global energy crisis and the conflict in Ukraine. There's high demand on gas supply. We call on Tunisians to rationalize gas and electricity consumption to reduce imports. The prices of oil are very high, and the price of gas is related to that of oil. More than 95% of Tunisia's electricity need is produced from natural gas.
The Tunisian Electricity and Gas Company announced that households whose consumption does not exceed 200 kilowatts per month will not be affected by this new increase. These represent 85% of the power provider's customers, or 3.6 million people.
The increase concerns 15% of power customers, or 650,000 low-voltage customers. The more they use electricity, the more they pay. The recent price hike is not intended to affect the poor households.
Energy experts say the recent hike will affect the cost of production for companies and businesses. Habib Hassan, who manages a cafe in downtown Tunis, says businesses are having to incur more costs as the electricity and gas bill continues to escalate in the country.
The prices of all food commodities and products are skyrocketing in the country. All the bills of gas and electricity are soaring. Ordinary consumers, small business owners, as well as industrialists will all be affected. This situation is unbearable.
The 16% price hike for natural gas will affect 33% of low-pressure customers whose consumption exceeds 30 cubic meters per month. However, customers whose consumption of natural gas is around 30 cubic meters to 60 cubic meters per month are now subject to a new rate. Tunisia's energy trade deficit in the first quarter of 2022 has widened to $633 million, or 87% compared to the same period last year. Analysts say the recent energy price hike is due to the current crisis in Eastern Europe and the depreciation of the Tunisian dinar. The North African state imports oil and gas, and that has left it in a precarious position, with the dinar continuing to lose value against the US dollar.
And from that report there in Tunisia, we will now take a break and come back shortly. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Tough Africa Global is the first and biggest private real estate developer in the Gambia, with a presence in 7 other African countries. We are launching the development of the first smart and most modern office and retail towers in the Gambia, called Tough Twins, located in the heart of the Canifing Institutional Area and 10 minutes drive from Banjul. Tough Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 meters square to over 1,000 meters square, 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24-hour electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shops. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333.
Welcome back. This is the World Today News Bulletin live from our studios in Banjul, and once again, many thanks for joining us. Now, AfriCell Gambia Sunday launched its new initiative named AfriCell Impact Foundation. The foundation is created to empower people to contribute to the development of their communities, help build strong and resilient communities by bringing people together both digitally and physically, and also connect them to opportunities in education, arts, healthcare, and many others. Moses Emende has the details again in this report.
The launching of the Impact Foundation, a continuation of AfriCell's investment in social initiatives and projects across the country. Since the commencement of its operations in the Gambia, the GSM company has been a key driver in enhancing positive impact in response to the continuous changes in communities. The foundation highlights health, sports and well-being, arts, culture and heritage, education and entrepreneurship, emergency relief and environment action are some of its impact areas. Hussein Dian Ghanim, Chief Executive Officer of AfriCell, speaks on the aims of the foundation.
The creation of the AfriCell Impact Foundation is a logical and important next step, and it makes sense to be doing it right now. Going forward, it will have practical benefits for the community-focused work we do in the Gambia. Thanks to the streamlined vision and structure of our work, we are going to be getting more momentum and drive to deliver what we need to do. The aim of the foundation is, above all, to connect people to opportunities. Connecting people is what AfriCell does every day, day in, day out, through our core business of mobile network operations. But this broader concept of connection, the idea of connecting communities to the digital and physical resources they need to build better futures, this is the core of the AfriCell Foundation's ethos.
He said, the initiative exemplifies the spirit of the foundation, and the announcement of the foundation is the next phase of a journey that began a long time ago. The launching of the foundation means AfriCell's work in the empowerment of individuals and strengthening communities will be more effective. It will also have a clearer long-term impression for the country and its communities, he concluded. Ambassador J. Peter Pham also spoke about plans to partner with the government and stakeholders to build social resilience.
AfriCell was proud to partner with the Gambia Football Federation during the Scorpions' fairy tale journey to Cameroon, and we want to help turn their inspiring achievements into a long-term legacy. Finally, as a mobile operator with a nationwide presence and a global footprint, and I might also add, as a U.S. company operating in this area, we also have a responsibility to work with the government, with NGOs and civil society, as well as other companies, to build social resilience and respond to crises when they occur. The AfriCell Impact Foundation will activate AfriCell's experience, skills, and resources in times of emergency. And going forward, the foundation will also drive AfriCell's local response to broader global challenges, such as climate change.
Dr. Ismaila Baji, founder and CEO of Innovarex Global Health, explained AfriCell's contribution to healthcare.
Do you know that 65% of the Gambia now have access to healthcare because they have access to an AfriCell SIM card? He was like, why is that? It's like in 2022, having an AfriCell SIM card has done a couple of things. It's leapfrogged individuals who don't have a bank account because of AfriMoney Solutions. From a healthcare standpoint, if a company like Innovarex now could provide healthcare services virtually using telemedicine, home deliveries, all through telecoms, it's more than a SIM card. And the fact that the COVID-19 was a prime example of how one company did more in educating people on the effects of their health, the impact of the COVID, that to me was more than just a telecommunications company. I think that was a stamp in their commitment to creating a healthier Gambia. So that's how important AfriCell is when it comes to health and awareness.
AfriCell has been a contributor to Gambia's entertainment industry and sports sector. It has also undertaken educational initiatives in the past. In 2020, the GSM operator donated 12 million Gambian dollars in its effort to contain and defeat the COVID-19 pandemic. Moses Mendy, Eyeafrica News.
Now moving on, residents in Kharkiv city in northeast Ukraine are beginning to return to their homes after sheltering in a metro for over 2 months. Amid the conflict, now volunteers were rendering mental health support to the displaced families, especially children. Now, after living in a state of fear for several weeks, their lives are returning to normalcy. Here's more details of that in this report.
A makeshift home where residents have formed a community. Halina has been living here for more than 2 months. She says the conditions got better over time.
In the beginning, I was sleeping right there on the floor, and the people who used this folding bed have left for Poland.
Her daughter has also fled to Poland, trying to make a living. Halina decided to stay, but she says it's hard to recall the start of the conflict.
I stayed at home the first week. I thought Ukraine and Russia would reach an agreement and there wouldn't be a war. But it carried on, so I had to leave everything.
People have been living in fear of uncertainties. Volunteers provide mental health support to the displaced residents.
With the children, we are distracting them from trauma because they are feeling everything the adults feel, perhaps even more. When we came down, we could see the lights go out from their eyes.
For several weeks, one metro station can host as many as 500 people. But as the city resuming public transport, the sheltered people will have to resettle.
Halina has decided to go home. She packs a few bags. They are everything she has. As she bids farewell, she also wants to part with the suffering. This is Halina's first time above ground since she got resettled. Destroyed buildings and debris everywhere along the way. Back home, things are the same. This is where I live. This is my bed, she says. It was the scene as she left it when she escaped in March.
It's good. I won't be scared. They're not shelling anymore, are they?
Her neighbor updates her on events while she was away. The building kept shaking amid constant shelling while people hid in basements.
So far, everything is back to normal. I don't want those days to return. I just don't.
Halina says it's time to start a new life, one that she hopes is peaceful and quiet.
That report is coming from Kharkiv in northeast Ukraine. Finally, the use of online financial transactions in the Middle East and North Africa is projected to increase by 70% next year, according to the NEMA FinTech Association. Now, Egyptian businesses are now benefiting from the digital transactions to recover from the advanced effect of the global pandemic. The Regional Financial Association FinTech is also raising people's awareness on financial inclusion. Let's have more details of that in this report.
Naveen Baddar sells high-end women's leatherware and accessories in her fashion boutique. When the coronavirus hit the country in 2020, she feared major losses due to the lockdown, but says digital transformation has helped her survive the crisis.
I started by using Visa card machines from banks. 2 years ago, we got approached by fintech companies whereby they would pay us in full for a product and the clients pay to these companies in installments. This has led to a big jump in sales because most clients say it's not important how much they will pay, but rather how they will make the payments.
According to the MENA FinTech Association, 7 out of 10 people will be using digital transformation in the Middle East and North Africa by 2023. The rate per person in the Arab Gulf nations is the highest, with Egypt leading in the number of users because of its large population. 56% of its adults use electronic payments, which is equivalent to about 38 million people.
It's very handy and prevents theft or money getting lost when you have cash on you. Using Visa cards or electronic payments are very useful. I even book hotels, trains, and everything from home using the credit cards. If you like anything online, you can pay and receive it easily from your home.
I use it to pay my bills, to purchase online and for hotel bookings.
Thriving digital transactions are driven by higher mobile phone dependency and more digital literacy. But there is also a hike in fintech startups in the region. In Egypt, for instance, there were 2 fintechs in 2014, but the number has since soared to 113.
Fintechs are an important addition to the economy. They support financial inclusion and encourage more people to tap into the formal financial system. They also facilitate people's financial activities like money transfers, payment, and savings. All this is raising financial awareness, increasing cashless activities, and stimulating the markets, therefore strengthening economic stability and growth.
And Naveen Baddar says 80% of her clients prefer cashless payments, a jump from the partly 10% when she started her business in 2016.
We now have new clients that couldn't afford our products before. Clients can buy more than one piece using these digital machines. FinTech provides our clients with many facilities and offers. They are competing with new offers every month.
The FinTech Association expects transactions to reach $20 billion in 2023, double 2019. And experts believe it will keep rising annually because of the aggressive financial inclusion policies being adopted by central banks in the region.
And that report there from Cairo, Egypt, eventually brings this news edition to an end. But for more details on this and other stories, as always, as ever, you can visit on our website on Eyeafrica.tv. But for now, many thanks for the privilege of your company. Thanks for watching and do have a pleasant evening. Bye for now.